my name's Jonas. I'm from Santa Cruz, California. I've been traveling around for about a month now, just trying to find some answers about myself and to explore the world in a time where the world seems very closed and contracted. I'm a carpenter from, I've lived my whole life in California, and really it's starting to feel like the place has changed in a way that I no longer want to call it home. I don't want to find a new place to call home. And in traveling, I hope to do that. I think the main reason that I had a calling to come to try the plant medicine is because of my long relationship with a variety of psychedelics, and I felt that this was kind of the next stone on that path to helping me understand a lot of the other experiences that I've had, and to try and come to terms with some of the anxieties that have come up over the years. While also receiving benefits from a lot of these substances, they've left me feeling a little bit overwhelmed and like I needed to reach out and have help from somebody else. And what ayahuasca really showed me was that I can really embrace the experience for myself. There's many different kinds of experiences, but with the right intention, the personal experiences can be just as powerful as the shared experiences of ceremony and coming to a new place that can often feel somewhat unfamiliar and new, and these things can both be exciting and intimidating, but I think that they show us something about ourselves when we're willing to break through and try something new and see new ways of doing something that we are somewhat familiar with ourselves. But I find that psychedelics, maybe specifically things like psilocybin and now the plant medicine, I feel that these give us a deeper connection with the earth, and they allow us to see the pieces working that really can't be separated, and you can't look at just the one thing. You have to look at the whole picture, and you have to see how everything is interlaced. And it's a product of Western society to look at things from a lens where we want to have one thing without the other. And I think with psychedelics, especially the natural plant originated psychedelics, you find that you really can't have the good without the bad and the bad without the good. You really just have to work through them, and also that there's no such thing as a bad trip. There's just challenging experiences that cause us to elevate ourselves, hopefully, when all is said and done. And I know that there's more journeys for me out there. I know that I haven't had all of the psychedelic experiences that I want to have, but I know that this one, it kind of drew them all together and allowed me to see them as an interwoven tapestry instead of a string of random events that I've taken upon myself for self-discovery. My experience with ayahuasca was very inward, which a lot of psychedelics can be that way for me. I tend to think about my own life, and I think about how I've affected others and how others have affected me. But I also had the realization that the more visual psychedelic is, the more it can distract us from a lot of that type of thought process and that type of going inward. And it can be a good thing, and it can also be a bad thing. Sometimes we need to do the work of going in and reflecting, and other times just having a visualization that's completely created from the substance can be very eye-opening as well. And frankly, I feel like I need to have more of those. It doesn't mean that I can set the intention, but I can't demand it. So all I can do is receive what I receive from the psychedelics, and try to be humble enough to allow enough time to pass and enough experiences to happen that I will be able to share my experiences in an articulate way, and not just have it all blend together into this ambiguous, strange, cloud of uncertainty, but actually a bigger message, one that is of gratitude and being present and believing in magic and manifesting magic for ourselves, not letting other people bring the magic, but creating that from within. And that's what I love about ayahuasca. There was no way for me to believe that things do not happen for a reason now. I really truly believe that everything happens when it's meant to happen. And all I can really say about maybe why things don't happen when we want them to is sometimes our attention isn't on the now, and it's easy for us to miss things, it's easy for us to pass up opportunities, and there's always choices to make, there's always opportunities that come. Sometimes it's good to say yes, sometimes it's good to say no, but I think the intent is the important part behind that. And I'm just grateful for the plant medicine and this place to have shown me that. I think my favorite part about this place is how when you get here, it seems so unfamiliar and so almost intimidating, and yet everyone's so inviting and so warm. But for me, it didn't change the fact that I was intimidated to be somewhere new and in a new community. I think it's easy as an individual to have some anxiety about walking into a group and having to learn a bunch of names and having to remember details about all the things that you're hearing as soon as you start conversating with people. But I think the main thing that I've learned from my time in Floristral is sustainability. And the only way to accomplish sustainability is through community. We can try to do it ourselves, but there's a lot of things that if we share our knowledge and our experience, we stand a lot more to gain. And if we end up feeling like we have all the answers, it's easy to miss things. And it's only in being around other people that are struggling also that we realize that we aren't so different and that maybe some of our problems aren't so big or drastic as we once thought they were. And specifically with this land here in the jungle, I think back to a book called The Island, written by Aldous Huxley, and the place that he created in his mind and on paper. It was a bit of a utopia that, despite the problems of the outside world and the outside influence, they practiced peace from within, and it was an all-inclusive community. It was everything from education to housing to food cultivation to science exploration, and somehow all of these things, they come together into this bigger package where you start to see that there really is a different way to live than the way we were brought up or the place that we're from. And I think that there's a perfect example of that here. There's development in the works, there's ideas that are not based on greed or monetary value, even though we can't escape that in this modern age or the time we're in. I think that there's a path forward to building a long-lasting community and teaching not just ourselves but our children, our friends, our family about how to truly be sustainable and live with the land instead of take from the land. And I have some hopes in the back of my mind that one day I'll even maybe buy a piece of land here and develop it in the best way that I know how through the skills that I've already acquired, but also learning from people here that have already done it, and that the time it's taken, the 15 years that it took to build this place. And I'll try to absorb some of that knowledge from the owners of this land and the cultivators, and also just the peace of mind knowing that I'm so close to the plant medicine and all these spiritual practices and the music and this hybridization of all these cultures and styles and ways of living that come from all around the world. Some of them resonate deeper with me than others. Some of them I even have reservations about. But the main truth is that the energy all around us is infinite. And that, to me, it just requires a little bit of getting in touch with ourselves and the land and making some sacrifices and not trying to move so fast. And I think that's one of the biggest gratitudes I have for coming here, is to take life a little bit slower and to enjoy the process, like so many people here do. And I had a lot of respect and awe sitting in front of all the musicians. I had to center myself in front of them at one point, so it was like watching a show. I mean, my original position in the ceremony was off kind of in the back on the side, which was beautiful as well, to be kind of in that energy, but then to sit back and watch, it's a completely different experience, and I think one that's very tribal at its roots. And that's something that no matter how old our civilization gets, we can all resonate with the word tribe and want to belong to a tribe in some respects. So thank you, Floor Stroll, for giving me that.